Hello there. So, what is the latest news from Congo? Now, let's start here. One of the latest news is that the East African Community Regional Force say that they have fully deployed their troops in the Eastern Congo, right? So that is the latest news, and it's good news. And I'm going to explain why it's good news to have this piece of information. So, according to the four countries that had pledged to send their troops to the Eastern Congo, to counter the M23 fighters. That is, Kenya had pledged 1,000, which is 1 battalion. South Sudan had pledged 750 troops, which is also a battalion. And Uganda had pledged 2, that is 2,000 soldiers. And now we have Burundi also pledging a battalion, which means that is also another 1,000 soldiers. So we are talking about 4,000 troops. They are there about 5,000 troops that are supposed to be in the eastern part of Congo to counter the M23. And remember, as I said in a previous video, is that the M23 have displaced about 400,000 civilians, farmers, villagers. They have been displaced from their own farms, their own homes, and a lot of them are living in camps. Of course, and I showed you that those camps are not a good place to be, right? So, from the article, they say that yesterday in Rutshuru and Masisi territories, the East African Community Regional Forces were being deployed. So, I'm going to show you on a map so that you understand the regions I'm talking about. But what it was is that the South Sudanese are supposed to be deployed in Rumangabo. So in the Rumangabo region is where they are going to be deployed. The Kenyans are still going to be between Rumangabo and the city of Goma, which is a city of 1 million people. The Burundi troops are going to be on the western end of the city of Goma from the town of Sake all the way to Masisi. And then we have the Ugandans in the north, in the territory of Rutshuru, and of course near that town called Bunagana, which is a border town on the Congo and Ugandan border. So that's how they are going to be deployed. And the Angola troops, about 550 of them, are also coming. I'm not sure where they are going to be deployed, but I can have a guess that they are going to be deployed very close to Masisi, where M23 currently has the upper hand. It's their base, the operation base in Masisi. So I'm going to show you on a map so that maybe you understand what I'm talking about. This is the city of Goma, which is a city of 1 million people, as you can see here. I'm going to try to show you. So you can see there's a runway here, and the city itself is, as I said, a huge city, by the way. You can see, and the white line you see here, this is the Rwandan border. So the city actually kind of spills over into the Rwandan territory, and I'm going to show you how. Like if you look close, there are this boulevard from this center. So we have boulevard. Actually, they are called the Boulevard Kanyamuhanga, right? And then there's Avenue Rutembo. So they go almost to the border, and some of them continue into Rwanda. Right now, you see this road here. The tarmac went to the border of Rwanda and just continued inside Rwanda and joined this institution, which I'm suspecting is the customs office on the Rwandan side, and then definitely continued into Rwanda. So you can see that. So the line, this is the border, this the Rwandan side, this is the Congolese side. No difference. You can't even tell the difference. As for this kind of avenue, what are they calling it? Avenue de... I can't read this name, it's French, but definitely you can see it used to come and cross into Rwanda directly, but when they demarcated the border in recent times, I think they were able to block that for the custom reasons. You have to use the official crossing line to pay, taxes and have your documents stamped. But definitely it means not too long ago, these two lines here used to cross into Rwanda, and maybe the people who used to live there, they didn't know the difference between if you are in Congo or Rwanda. You can see the same thing happens to other avenues until recently when these two countries started fighting and this happened. But bottom line is, this is the city of Goma. That's where we have 1,000 Kenyan troops. They are guarding this almost 5 4 to 5 kilometer long international airport runway. So as you can see, and this is an international airport. The code name is GOM. You can see that. So that's what it is. And without following the border, there's a highway here. So you follow this line. This is a highway we call the RN2 on this map. As you can see, it goes up, and this is the highway. I'm going to show you easily from this one here. So the highway is this one. As you can see, it goes through Kibumba, this Kibumba region, continues north. Yeah, this Kibumba, commune de Kibumba, and it keeps going. So as you can see something, you have to notice something, that on the right side of the highway, we have farms and settlements. On the right side, this is the Mount Nyiragongo National Park. So it's a protected area. So that's how it is. And it keeps going further north to where now the South Sudanese will be based in Rumangabo. And this is where the Rumangabo is. We have an airstrip, Katare airport. Actually, it's an airport. And this is where the military camp is based. So the military camp of Rumangabo, as you can see, these are barracks. And basically, this is a military camp. And this is now the town of Rumangabo itself. It's a town of about 5,000 people. So it's not a smaller town, by the way. And it is basically a farm town. So it's a town, but around it, these are farms. So these are towns that its economic activity are farm produce that have to be shipped south to the city of Goma. So it's a farming town. As you can see, these are farms, very beautiful farms in Congo, and nice dams, very nice real estate in this country. But you get the point. Now, further north, as you follow the highway, you are headed now to the border of Uganda. And that's why I'm going to show you this highway takes you now to Ruchuru. Ruchuru is a huge town of about 10,000 people. So it starts here and it goes all the way to Kiwanja, Ruchuru Airport. So it's a huge town. Don't be confused. It's a huge town of about 10,000 to 20,000 people, according to what I read. But there's now a junction here. Before you get to the town itself, the highway kind of takes a different turn, and this means it's going to the town of Bunagana. So you follow the highway, it takes you now to the Ugandan border. So you follow that highway, this the Ugandan border. You are headed to Bunagana, and Bunagana is another border town. It's a town of about 40,000 people. You can see that from the map, and this is the town the M23 had, kind of captured from the Congolese soldiers and Congolese army. Definitely, it doesn't mean that there were about 10,000 Congolese soldiers. There's no that kind of number of soldiers on any border town in the world, right? If there's a border between Mexico and the United States, or a border between Kenya and Somalia, or a border between Kenya and Tanzania, like what do we call it? Not Arusha, but maybe the border town of, what do we call that border? Namanga, right? So you don't expect 10,000 Kenyans or 10,000 Tanzanians. So if we have a rebel group from a neighboring country, one of them, whether it's from Kenya or Tanzania, deciding that they walk 2,000 troops to the border town of Namanga, there's no enough soldiers or police officers to stop them. So that's what happened. This area had only few police officers and few customs officers in this building. The custom is in this building where you see the trucks usually come here for inspection and they pay their custom duty. So there were few police officers, maybe 500 of them, including the custom officer. And all of a sudden, you have 2,000 soldiers pouring into this town from Uganda and Rwanda. So they came from Rwanda, they crossed this border from what we call this mountain, Virunga Mountain, yeah. So they crossed over and others joined them from Ugandan side. And that's why I'm saying these two countries assisted the rebels to capture this town. And today, Uganda is moving 1,000 troops to Bunagana, and they are going to also move another 1,000 troops to Ruchuru to pretend that they are also going to bring peace. Even though we know there's no way 2,000 troops came from Uganda and went to Bunagana without the Ugandans knowing. But that's what happened, and the few 200 or 500 police that were in this town were overcome, and they ran away. They had to run away. Others were captured, or maybe they tried to put our fight. We never know what happened to them, but you understand what I'm trying to say.
Unajua sisi tunaishi Uganda na Bianga training school.
So they captured this border town, and everything that comes to the Eastern Congo comes through this border town, because they use the Mombasa port, which is the Kenyan port, then through Uganda, right? So goods come through Mombasa all the way through Uganda, then to Congo. That's how Eastern Congo gets their goods, because if you look at Eastern Congo, it's far away from the Western Congo, from the Atlantic. So there's no way goods can leave Kinshasa or the Atlantic and make their way to Goma. The easiest way is from Mombasa to Goma, and sometimes from Dar es Salaam to Goma. But because they cannot transit through Rwanda because of what is happening, most of the time they do through Uganda. And the M23's goal was to stop that. So they kind of cut off the commerce in this territory, right? So they captured the town of Bunagana here, Ruchuru, and tried to cut off the highway. When the goods were diverted to another highway, I'm going to show you, they went and captured that one too. So this RN1 highway that leaves Goma through Rumangabo, Ruchuru to Bunagana, to now Uganda. The other highway goes through Kichanga. So from RN2, you divert using this highway, and you come to Kichanga and use the western side using the RN2 to Sake, then RP 1030. That is the other highway. And they also captured that too. So that's why they're in Masisi here, to capture the Kichanga complex, because there's a highway that connects Uganda to Goma. So they had captured this same highway again to stop the flow of goods. And that's what I'm saying now. The East African Community Regional Force are there to ensure that, first of all, they unblock that blockade, which is ensuring that the city of Goma doesn't get the goods they want. So that's why we have the Burundi troops in this territory, to ensure that this highway continues working as it is expected. And from last year, you remember there was that UN report, and which was correlated by the United States, that when the M23 fighters captured this highway, this particular highway, there were 500 Rwandan troops that helped them. Satellite images and drone footage from the MONUSCO, that is the United Nations Peacekeeping Force in Congo, captured about 550 Rwandan troops operating from Kibumba here. So they crossed from Rwanda to Kibumba to help the M23 capture, all to stop any reinforcement from Goma. Because now what happened was that if the Congolese who are in this town, in this city, had sent reinforcement to Bunagana, they could have done something about it. But when they did that, they came under heavy fire from Rwandan troops along this highway. So you understand, that is what has been happening in Congo. Rwanda is trying to capture that territory. It's trying to destabilize that territory and basically make it ungovernable. Maybe grab it. I don't know the objective, but everything you can think of is their objective. They want minerals in Rubaya. For those who do not know where Rubaya is a mining town not far from Sake. So it's south of here. So if you go down here, this area you're seeing that are white, these are coltan mines. So these are coltan mines, and that's where now you find that the M23 was trying to capture. So you go deep here. This is where you find the coltan mines in Rubaya, right? So if we zoom in, you find that this town is called Rubaya. I'm trying to get there. So this town you're seeing here is Rubaya. You can see even there's a church called something Sepak Sayun Rubaya. So this is Rubaya. These are Rubaya, this is the liver, and you can see the mines. These are the mines. All these are the mines, the coltan mines in Rubaya. And they also try to capture that because that's what Rwanda wants to do, to capture the coltan mines and continue looting Congolese minerals. So you understand. Now, the good news is that now that this is happening, normalcy has restored. From what I read yesterday is that about 40,000 villagers and Congolese civilians have gone back to their farms in the regions of Rutshuru, that is where the Ugandans are, and the regions of Rumangabo. So they have gone back. The other thing is that the highway from Goma to Kibumba to Rumangabo to Rutshuru and then to Bunagana, which is the main supply route for that city, have been restored and security has returned to the regions of Nyiragongo. So you can see the displaced residents of Nyiragongo and Rutshuru territories are back to their homes and they have agreed to end the hostilities. So the same villagers who are living along that region, they also had their smaller militias. Some of the militias are the ones Paul Kagame calls FDLR. Other militias have different names, but those militias have also stopped, carrying arms to protect or defend their villages from the Rwandans. So normalcy is returning to this territory. There's security that's being restored by the East African Community Regional Force. So that is why I said it's good news that we are going to have more than a bigger number, that is, of these 400,000 displaced civilians going back to their homes. As you can see, some of the previous news, Médecins Sans Frontières, that is Doctors Without Borders, had said that North Kivu is facing a humanitarian crisis. So you can see these are the images of some of the people that had been displaced. But these people are now going back because now the 4 East African countries have fully deployed their soldiers. About 4,000 soldiers are there to ensure that these people go back to their farms. And that's why I'm saying it's good news. So let me know what you think in the comment section below so that we can discuss the situation in Congo.